Hello everyone and welcome to Grammatically Incorrect News. This week we'll be taking a look at the Nintendo financial forecast, SimCity has some major changes happening, a big bunch of game releases and DLC announcements, and Valve releases details on how many active Steam users there are. Nintendo this Friday has just gone and made some major modifications to its sale forecast figures for the company's financial year at the end of March 31st. Instead of selling the forecasted 18 million 3DS handheld units, it has gone down to the revised figure of 13.5 million units, and the Wii U was predicted to sell 9 million units worldwide, but now that number has been dramatically cut down to 2.8 million units worldwide. These adjustments mean that they are actually forecasting a $250 million loss for its current fiscal year. There was a press conference soon after this announcement with the Nintendo president Satoru Iwata, who apologised to shareholders for the business performance this year, and he also confirmed he would still be staying on as the president of Nintendo. Iwata also talked about a new business structure and studying ways of using smart devices to grow the business, but stated it wasn't as simple as enabling Mario on smartphones. The next year could be very interesting for Nintendo. We can only hope and cross our fingers that this doesn't doom this console maker, who helped define this industry. The newly imagined SimCity has had a very bumpy 9 months since its release, after being plagued by bugs, server problems, and no offline mode to name just a few. Its developers Maxis has been working hard to fix the overall game, and now it seems the game's main criticism will be changed in the upcoming patch, which will enable offline play. The mode is ironically called Single Player, since the original concept for the game was for you to connect to the EA servers and build cities with other players. This, however, put a lot of players off since they had to depend on others to progress in the game and for the servers to be working to access your cities you've been tirelessly working on. Now with this latest change, the dependence on others will be removed and this single player franchise will be able to stand on its own 2 feet. This wasn't the only announcement from Maxis. They will also be letting people make their own mods for this game, which they had locked down before because it was all online. These 2 changes could bring new life to this game, which was criticised for being a major disappointment for players in 2013. It will be interesting to see if people will return to this game, or if it is too little, too late. The January slump is here, where gaming is on a bit of hiatus with no major game releases in sight for the next month. Developers aren't staying quiet though, and a number of announcements have been made this week, so here's a quick lowdown of what's been happening. Double Fine's Kickstarter game called Broken Age, which raised over $3 million, was launched this week for people who backed the game last year. It's being released in 2 parts, with the second half of the game being released as a free download later this year. This game is your classic point-and-click adventure game with stunning visuals, an all-star voice cast, and ingenious puzzles which will be causing a many of heads to be scratched. Non-backers of the games will eventually be able to purchase this game off Steam in 2 weeks' time on January the 28th. The Last of Us will finally be receiving its first piece of story-based DLC on Valentine's Day on the PlayStation 3. The story takes place before Ellie met Joel and will be a prequel tale telling us how her close friendship with Riley that was hinted in the main game came about, and knowing The Last of Us, unfortunately how it ended as well. Keep tuned to the channel for an upcoming review for this piece of DLC content. Call of Duty Ghosts will be receiving its first map pack this month, which will include 4 new maps, 2 new guns, and unique gameplay modes on each of the maps. The strangest of these will be on the new map called Fog, where if you complete a field order, you can become Michael Myers from the Halloween movies by donning the mask and wielding the axe. The strangest part of this is whenever you become Myers, the iconic music from the film will play in the background. You can expect to become the axe-wielding murderer on Xbox 360 and Xbox One on the 28th of January, and 1 month later on all other platforms. Telltale's episodic game, The Wolf Amongst Us, will finally be getting its 2nd episode in the first week of February after a 3-month delay. Based on the graphic novel series Fables, the game follows Bigsby, who is solving a murder in New York City, which is secretly inhabited by fairy tale creatures. The first episode, which came out last November, ended on quite a cliffhanger, and fans have been hammering for the next part for some time now. Telltale has apologised for this delay, and all future episodes won't be on such a big gap. The last piece of news came from Blizzard Entertainment, who seems to be getting closer to releasing Hearthstone, their digital card trading game based on the Warcraft universe. A developer came out and hinted at this after a major patch came out for the beta, saying, This should be our last big set of balance changes. Once we go live, we plan on making very few card changes, and only if they are absolutely necessary. This is good news for people out there craving for a chance to play this surprisingly addictive card game, and you can expect to play the open beta in the coming month. PC gaming is dead, my elder brother keeps telling me. He may be right in some regards, but when Valve announced this Wednesday that Steam has 75 million active users at the Steam Dev Day conference, I start to see cracks in his argument. This is a major increase from October 2013 figures of 65 million active users. That's an increase of 10 million users within 3 months. However, this 3-month period also contains 2 major sales for Steam. The Fall and Christmas sale. There are no actual figures for the growth or decline in active users over a year period, but those numbers are still pretty impressive for PC gaming. There were also a couple of developments in the Steam machine, with plans to add music, movies and TV streaming to the Steam OS, along with a redesigned controller. The new controller will now get rid of the touch panels in favour of a D-pad and face buttons. The reason behind this was so the control pad would be more backwards compatible with older games. That's about all the news for this week. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.